Today on the MaxSog Adventure International channel, we will be covering my purchases from the DFW G.I. Joe in Action Figure Show in Grapevine, Texas. This might be a long video, guys, but I think you'll have fun. Let's get on with the video. What's up, my dudes and gals out there? Just like the title says, these are all our purchases, or more accurately, all the goodies my wife treated me to during the DFW G.I. Joe in Action Figure Show. We'll start with the individual items, coming up with this one first. Let's start with the minor items first. Now, this wasn't actually something I bought at the show, believe it or not. I found these 1/6 scale lockers at Target. They had two colors, a pink one and the blue one, and of course, we need to pick out the non-pink ones. This is what it looks like next to a 12-inch figure. So it's very close to 1/6 scale, I would say. And it's in the, I believe, school supply section. Well, I think it's meant to be for school supplies. It was at the front shelves when you come in at Target. I've yet to see these at my local Target. As you can see, doors open and there's two shelves actually that slides out. Now, I don't know if these lockers are old news to you guys, but it's certainly new to me. It comes with a lock. Granted, it's not scale to G.I. Joe. Well, maybe it is. It would have to be an enormous lock, but anyway, I got 3 of them. And I think with some AT stickers, that would make for a great addition to your G.I. Joe dioramas. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Now, if you're any fan of the channel, you'll know that I'm a big fan myself of the Mattel line of super colossal dinosaurs. And this was a big surprise for me. I didn't know that they had already released it, because I haven't seen them in my local Target. And this, at the time, might have been something that the salespeople wasn't supposed to put out. But obviously, I grabbed one of these big mothers, and I think we should bust this sucker out. And that's the Allosaur in all of its huge, monstrous glory. As you can see with the figure, it's pretty convincing, at least in my opinion. I kind of like that they went back to painting the toes, although they didn't paint all of them. So I'm probably going to be going back just to add those details in there, as you can see. But he's pretty convincing, you know. It could pass for a juvenile Allosaur. An animal this size certainly can kill a human in that scale, no doubt. Anyway, let's move on to the next item. Yep, that's right. I got a forklift for my G.I. Joes. Now, I had one of these many years ago. I think it was early 2000s, if not the late 90s. And the version I got had it wasn't wireless. That means that there's a control line that went from the back directly to the remote control unit. This one, though, is I guess you know, like your traditional remote control. Of course, I gotta straighten that out, but it looks like it works like a traditional remote control model that we're familiar with. And this one is in yellow. The one I had was reddish orange. The only thing that's missing on this is the plastic pallet, the simulated wooden pallet that it came on. And that's actually crucial if you want to maneuver this forklift underneath the pallet and then lift it. I guess I'll just have to make a real wooden one. But it does work according to the seller, and by all indication, at least everything is there. The original battery, which looks like it's in great condition. We'll see. But regardless, it's a great piece. Here it is with the figure. So like I said, I had one of these before, and I can tell you that a figure can definitely sit in there and operate the forklift. Pretty cool item, I think, especially with the dioramas that I do. And I sure have a lot of warehouse type items like crates and boxes and all sorts of forklifty kind of things. So dioramas for like a hangar, a motor pool, maybe an enemy compound. So I guess that means I shouldn't put an AT sticker on it. Well, maybe I can if I just lift it off, depending on the diorama, because I can always print some more stickers. But anyway, that's an interesting piece, and we'll be moving on to the next item. I was looking at one of the booths, I believe it was Boba Joe's booth, and found this on the bin. Now I do know what this is. This is from Big Jim. But you know me, I don't collect Big Jim, so I will most likely be incorporating this for the adventure team. I'm thinking of replacing the broken harness there, and I got it for a good price, and it isn't that. I got it for half that because the guy had a sale. Now I'm gonna see if I can do it on the camera with one hand. Nope, I guess not. Let's see.
Call a rescue truck. Stand by for instructions. Hurry, I need help.
So that might be a great piece. I'm thinking of making a custom harness for this and having G.I. Joe use it. Now, if any of you guys at the comments section know what attaches to the other end of this hose, or if this hose even belongs here, please let me know. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Stopped by the Cotswold Collectibles booth and picked up a couple of these guys. These are the new Guyper Man bodies, I believe. Now, what I like about these is outwardly they look every bit like the vintage muscle bodies, but been re-engineered without all of the flaws. That means you've got these solid plastic joints with the elbow and everything, and they're really tight too. I think the hip might still be rubber, but you know, even the vintage ones, those never broke. The ankles, the knees have solid plastic joints, and They look very solid. I like these and might just start doing the muscle body figures again just because of these. Let's go move on to the next one. Now, the Bullet Man. I used to have a very nice one, but at the time I didn't feel like it fit my collection anymore. You know, the notion of a superhero joining the adventure team I thought was like made the adventure team sort of pointless. You know, this guy is a superhero, he can fly, he has superhuman strength. I mean, for crying out loud, he can literally bust through mountains just running into it. Anyway, got this for a very good price, couldn't pass it up. He is missing some fingers on this hand, but I think I can live with it if I can't manage to change the hands out. I'll be restoring the chipped chromed areas on his arm, and I've got plans for this guy. So I'll be doing my take on the Bullet Man that could make him once again fit with my take on the adventure team. So look for that on future videos. On to the next one. You know, one of the perks about being a dealer at a G.I. Joe show is that you get to spot the goodies before anybody else does. Now, I saw this on one of the dealer tables. I believe the gentleman's name is Jim, and you can see his booth on a video that I shot of the vendors at the show, and he had a great price on it already, but oddly enough, by the time I got to his table, he lowered the price even more, and I just couldn't resist it, because in this condition, if you saw this on eBay, it would go for all sorts of prices, from the reasonable to the ridiculous. And the only thing missing on this are a few things. The smaller antenna, I believe back here, the circular one, the whip antenna, and the windshield. The gentleman said that the battery box is clean, and it sure is. Contacts are in very clean, decent shape, and I'm almost sure that I have the whip antenna in one of my parts bin. If not, I'll probably get some of the missing parts from Jim Eggner and just swap it out when I run into the original parts. But guess what? I happen to already have an original windshield. So I'm ahead of the game. How about that? Here's another adventure team vehicle that is a favorite of mine, and of course, as you already know, these things are very difficult to find, especially complete. This isn't complete, but it's in fantastic shape, and you wouldn't believe the price I got this for. I mean, $40? $40. That is nuts. The only thing missing are the guts for this thing, but the shaft and the gear on the shaft is there that holds the propeller, which is there, and the cross member that goes here. And I can get those cross members from Jim Eggner, again, the guy that saves our bacons when we have vehicles that are rare like this and we need spare parts. And from what I understand, the mechanism that goes in here is very similar, if not the same, to the Adventure Team helicopter, the yellow helicopter. So I'm going to be looking into that. But you know, if I never find it, I'm going to be perfectly happy, because I mainly do static dioramas, you know, and I bet you if I put an electric fan right in front of this, the wind will probably spin this sucker. You know, and just a little bit of hair dryer treatment probably straighten that out. It's no big deal. You know, just get like the cross member there. But now I have two turbo Swampcrafts. And I have the manta ray and a couple of nooses in my parts bin, so if I wanted to put together a complete set of the Swampcraft, I can. But I just wanted a second Swampcraft because, you know, you always need that buddy when you're out there patrolling the swamps. Alright, now this one's kind of a strange bird, literally. You ever have one of those G.I. Joe items that you bought and regretted selling? Well, this was one of them. Back when I started collecting in the 90s, I got what I didn't know was a Super Joe item. It was a Super Joe version of the Avenger Pursuit Craft. And ever since then, I was looking for one and have finally found it, and for below $150. So, but this one is kind of baffling to me because the decals appear to be original. And at the same time, it has the Super Joe symbol right there on the side. So I'm not sure what happened there. Now, another thing that I remember from the one I had was that, from my memory, all the parts on that Avenger Pursuit Craft were orange. Namely, or especially the pontoon. The pontoons were orange on that one. And this one has the gray parts there, as well as a black set of pontoons. So maybe some of you guys in the comment section, you know, could tell me what exactly this is. I'm sure there's lots of variations, or a couple of variations of the original Adventure Team's version of the Avenger Pursuit Craft. But so far as I know, the Super Joe version didn't have that many variations. But anyway, I'm very happy to add this to my hanger. because I love that orange. As you know, my car is orange, and I just love that color. You know, it's a great change from the yellow. As a matter of fact, one of my custom Adventure Team vehicles is not even orange or yellow. It's like lime green. But anyway, I digress. Like I said, very happy to get this, and under 150. Obviously, it needs some cleaning. You guys tell me what you would do. Would you try to restore it, or maybe change the stickers out completely to kind of freshen things up? Let me know in the comments section. Anyway, let's move on. Now, I don't usually collect original anything. I have a few, and that especially goes with Adventure Team, because I often couldn't find them in very decent condition. They're usually very tattered and worn, but I couldn't resist this one. This one is from Daryl DePriest's booth, and it's a very, very nice specimen. And just as you could expect from Daryl DePriest's collection, this one is complete. And the material is still very crispy and thick and feels kind of brand new. And that appears to be, I'm not sure if that's an original sticker, but I would venture to guess that it is. Yeah, maybe it is. Anyway, the everything is in really, really good shape, and you know, this might actually get me to start that journey to collect original complete Adventure Team sets, like the outfits. And there's going to be more on that on a future video. I have a pretty big announcement regarding vintage Adventure Team outfit sets and what I'm thinking of doing for the channel. So stay tuned on that. But again, what a great piece. Another reason why I got this is I wanted to study that hood. This is actually the first time I've had a volcano jumper set. So this is actually the first time I'm seeing that hood. And it looks like a very simple hood to copy. The pattern wouldn't be very difficult to figure out. And I don't even have to reverse engineer anything. I just have to look at it and I could figure out how the pattern was made. The figure is also in fantastic shape. You know, he's got a little bit of injury there on his finger, but overall he's in fantastic shape. It's a man of action. And it's in great shape. Knowing Daryl, you know, he's always got very, very good items on sale whenever he's at a show. So that's the Adventure Team volcano jumper on a man of action figure. And now we're down to our last piece, and I've saved the best for last. Now, if you were at the show, and you went to Jim Eggner, aka TK560's table, you would see this. This is the Deep Core Mold Vehicle, or DCMV. And this comes right out of those old favorite shows that we used to like if you were of my generation, which is the old Jerry Anderson Super Marionation shows like Stingray, Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, Joe 90, and it is fantastic. This is actually one of the early versions that Jim designed and printed, and according to him, you know, there's a lot of things he wanted to change. Now let's take a look at it closer. It is removable from the cradle. Now the cradle, he says, needs also some tweaking, and I can see where it is, you know, some geometry problems there, but you know, I can do something with that where it could lay down completely flat and just tweak it a little bit, you know, but that's part of the design process, right? And check this out. This is really fascinating. This is something I just learned at the show speaking with Jim. That is printed in color. So he has a new printer that has multicolor, or that can take, or is equipped with multiple spools of filament, so that as he's printing, he can change the color. So what I love about this is it looks like the track really works. And I do hope that Jim does a version with functioning tracks. I think somehow if he could engineer it where it could use some of the troubleshooter wheels and tracks, that might be a cool version, you know, to do. And anyway, let's go back to the drilling unit itself. I put one of my G.I. Joes in there, and as you can see, he even printed instrumentations in there, just kind of tchotchkeyed a bunch of detail in there, you know. It's got like screen consoles in there, and according to Jim, again, there's a lot of things he wanted to change. You know, leave it to an artist to be his worst critic. Now, maybe the only thing I would change is the location of that hole back there. I'm thinking it's for a shifter. Either that, or create a shifter that goes there and then goes out and then curves up like that. You know, like one of those old Hurst shifters. Or just relocate that hole up here, like have it change places where these buttons are back here and then this hole is right back here. But it looks like he's got the right distance for maybe some kind of steering wheel, you know, like something out of the Pursuit Craft. That might be cool. And you know, you have a functioning drill bit that spins freely. Just gotta tweak it a little bit so that it's, you know, stays closer to it. But I tell you, you know, just a bit of detailing will make this really pop. So what I would do is I would just come back in and just hand paint those details. Maybe put some decals in there for the screen, you know, and dress it up. I think this would look great. I could see like all kinds of decals here, You know, maybe take an airbrush and do some gradiating paint. You know, like shade. You know, shading work from with an airbrush. Hit the yellow with like a darker shade of maybe marigold. You know, and then maybe a darker thing for that. Just pick out some details here, paint it. Now, I do plan to get the production version once he gets that done, but he, you know, he's not really sure when he can get a production version up and running, and that's why I wanted to get this. You know, he, according to him, funny enough, he said it's just probably going to end up in his pile of shame, which is I thought was insane. So I offered to buy it by the end of the show, and he graciously sold it to me. So I will actually be doing an in-depth video on this once it's all decaled and, you know, detailed out. I'll tell you, ultimately, I would like to do a RC version where I'm using the same chassis that I used on my Scorpion ATV remote control model. So that basically eliminates this unit for a bigger tracked unit that's remote controlled, and it will probably have its own cradle. You know, I'll probably just, you know, cannibalize off of this, which I will only do once I know that I've got the project dialed in. And another thing, maybe, I don't know how difficult it would be to do, but I would like to motorize the drill so that it's spinning, you know, and have LED lights in there, and maybe drill out these things here, replace it with like a red crystal head and LED lights so that it would, like, you know, flash or just light up and stuff, and you know, do a whole complete repaint on it. But I think I'll wait until the production version comes out, because I don't want to really touch this until the production version is out. Anyway, that is the Deep Core Mold Vehicle by Jim Eggner, and I am just tickled pink I got it. Alright guys, that's what I got for you today. As you can see, I made out like a bandit at the DFW G.I. Joe in Action Figure Show. Big shout out to my wife for making all of this possible. You will be seeing all of these items eventually in upcoming videos and projects. Lots of plans, lots of projects. I think you guys are gonna like them. I'll see you guys on the next video. Max Sog out.